All right, Michael. Looks like we've got green beans back behind us. What are we doing today?
Well, the sun is shining today, and we figured perfect day to actually go for a drive in this thing and show you guys the Holley Sniper and the fact that it's working now and how it drives and all the things that come with that. But before we do that, as always, there's a bit of a catch. There's a few things we need to fix or just alter. So I've been driving this for what, 3 weeks now, something like that. And there's a few things that I found that I want to change since then. One of which, we need to put coolant in it because we don't have coolant, just water at the moment. We need to do an oil change in it because when I was trying to diagnose this thing, I pumped the car full of fuel. I've like flooding it basically when I was trying to fix it, and I just want to change the oil because it'll be full of fuel. I want to change the position of the screen as well too, just change that around. We need to make a cover plate for the back where we put the hole in the floor. And the only real major thing that we have to do today is we need to replace the gearbox output shaft seal. That's leaking. That's a leaking.
Hey, that's a leaking.
That's a leaking. It's a leaky seal.
I think you said it with the hand as well.
Yeah. So we need to change that as well today. Hopefully that shouldn't be a big deal. Just tail shaft out, pop the new one in, and then we can go for a drive. So yeah, we should probably get it outside and drop the water.
Yeah.
And put coolant in it.
Yep.
So one of the reasons why we actually went to the Sniper was because we wanted to avoid the issue of cold starting. So I haven't started this in about a week. It's probably 2 degrees at the minute, as always, in wintertime in Victoria. So I'm going to put the key in. I'm not going to touch the accelerator. I'm not going to do anything other than just turn the key, and we're going to see what happens. See if it's actually worth all the time and effort. Keys in. Fuel pump is starting.
You're not a very good commentator.
Hey? Hey? Now Nathan gets to attest how much of a pig this used to be before that.
It was atrocious.
With the old carby, there's no way it would do that.
Yeah.
You had to play with the choke, it was copper flood, it would run on 7 cylinders, there was a pig. Now, it just starts up and does its thing. And the best bit is, even when it's dead cold, I can actually drive it. Alright, let's turn it off, dump water and get into it, eh?
Yeah.
Not bad though, is it?
There's a sniper under there.
Oh, sniper.
Nathan's got the tool that we're going to need. On the table. Do you want me to do it?
No, that's right, I got it.
Oh, he's dedicated, he's on the wet floor.
Yeah, I just realised that now. It's cold.
Hey, here's a question that I got for the viewers. Should we do a hoodies run? Should we do a hoodie pre-order? Let us know in the comments if anyone's interested. We can drop that on the floor because there's literally no coolant in it.
If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down.
Ugh.
Oh, that's like mud water.
Yeah. Well, that was quick.
Yeah.
I wonder if we should start it and then
Yeah, it won't hurt.
Yeah, I might do that. How much water do you reckon will be in there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No. I reckon we could put that hose back on and...
I think the ECU was freaking out then because it had no oil, water temperature.
Oh.
Which is like the one thing that it needs. Oh, look how gunky it is. Alright, I'll put the hose back on, we'll put some coolant in it and we'll send it away. Yeah, oh, this hose is a frick. I should have been the one to pull the hose off because at least it was dry concrete. Now it's super wet.
Yep.
There we go. Lovely. So before we bleed it, one thing I want to change in the car as well too is I want to change the fans, what they're coming in at the minute, because the Sniper is controlling the fans. Previously I've had them set to 185 degrees Fahrenheit. Unfortunately there's no Celsius on this, it's only Fahrenheit, which is about 85 or is 85 degrees Celsius. And I'm just finding that the fans are coming on the freeway. So I'm going to turn it up to 95 degrees Celsius, which is 203 degrees Fahrenheit.
Aluminum.
But the best bit about it is it's super easy because all I need to do is just jump into here and change from here. And I'm going to change it to come off at 90 degrees Yeah, so that'll cycle between 95 and 90 degrees.
Yep.
We'll see how that goes. If it's no good, it's super easy to change. So yeah,
Cool.
that should work. Now go home, and now we start her up. And we'll let it run until it warms up and bleed the system. Then bring it back in. There's oil.
Yep, done.
Too easy. I think for the first time ever, either we haven't bled it right, or we have for once. We haven't spewed water everywhere for once. But she seems to be bled. All right, well let's
Push her back in, drop the oil.
dump the oil. Yeah. This is not where we get the oil from, but we do need to cover that. So what we're going to do is we need to make a plate. Put some tech screws. Devil's screws. What am I trying to say? Nutserts.
Chuck a notch on him.
I'm gonna put a plate under it so it doesn't go through. Yeah, I thought about that. And yeah, go from there, I reckon.
Yep.
So we'll take some measurements. I'm gonna see if I can flatten that now and see if we can make it a bit easier for ourselves.
Yep. Hey, that worked.
Panel beating.
What I'll just know is 250. Not certain. Screw in there.
All the parts in there. See, Jake, nothing to worry about. I think I got a black one too. Ooh, I got a black one.
So that means we need a yellow texture to right when it's serviced.
True. Bit more of that black goodness. Oh, the black look heaps better. Matches
Yeah,
my
it
black
does
sniper now.
look heaps better. I've always just gone to, that's not going anywhere.
I get nervous that they're going to come off.
Yeah.
You know, with expansion of heat and stuff. I suppose though, with expansion of heat, they'd probably compress more, wouldn't they? I reckon we're going to have a look at doing this. So we noticed after driving this for a couple of goes, it's leaking from this seal here quite substantially. So we're going to replace that today. So I've got a new seal for it. It seems to be a different design from that one, but maybe it's just a newer design so they don't use the big fat lip on the end of it anymore. So we're going to try to replace that, but I don't want to take the exhaust off because I didn't get any new flanges, and because we coupe all our flanges, they're now a one-time only deal. So we're just going to see if we can get the tail shaft to go back, see if we can pull the old one out, put a new one in. Pretty simple.
Done.
Simples. And hopefully we'll be motoring in no time. The other thing that we're going to do while we take that out is these fuel lines are rattling. There's so much force that goes through this pump that they actually are shaking and rubbing against here, and you can hear them, and it sounds horrible. So we're going to try and neaten these up a bit because we sort of just chucked them in when we wanted to get it running and we left them like that. So now we need to go back and actually fix them. That's okay. I'll start doing that now with P-clips, not zip ties. Oh, pull back in. I'm trying!
Oh no, it's right. Stop that. It's got to. We got to do it anyway.
No, but I'll check the other one first to make sure
I
that it
was
can be
going to
done.
go and pop that out now.
We probably should have done that before we started
Now
this.
CPR test dummy.
Test dummy. What do they call it? Little Annie.
So what we're going to do before we attempt the real one, we're going to attempt the fake one, just like the dummy.
Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?
I
Annie?
don't know how I'm going to get it out.
Screwdriver. So this is an old gearbox that we had when we were fitting the T5. It's just a shell. Luckily it has the fitting in the seal so we can see how difficult this is going to be. Okay.
Oh, that's going to swing into me.
Ready?
Oh, sticking it in my chest.
Jesus. Hey. Pop. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the one.
Okay, that's alright. That'd be easy to whack back in. It's just a matter of getting the old one out.
Yeah. Without damaging the box, because you can see how much in this one we've messed it up.
Mess that lip up.
But there's a fair lip on it, so even if we just sand the lip back once we...
Yeah, just like a Scotch-Brite it. Plus we'll probably rough this up too and we'll put goop in there.
Yeah.
That'll whack in nicely.
We're going to have to do it. It has to be done.
Oh, 100%. It's pouring out.
Yeah. And with that, we're now committed. Yes. Nice, Gary. Just ignore all the dents and stuff. I might get a file of that and just clean her up. We gave it just a quick little go with sandpaper just to get rid of any of the high spots that we made when we were chiseling out the original seal. So hopefully it should go in nicely.
I think it's going to go in not real easy.
Not real easy.
Nah, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I'll get the bearing puller thingies, the bearing pushers that we bought. Remember
Yeah,
the
I
skip-
was going to go get them, but I couldn't find them.
Yeah, they're in,
It's in the
one of
special
many. The special cabinet. We've realised that the word specialty tool cabinet is too long, so we're abbreviating it to
Special tool cabinet.
So, one thing we didn't think about is, do we have a socket big enough to actually knock this in? And no, we don't. The only thing is, I've got this for doing hubs on patrols, which I've had to modify and cut up. So it's kind of jagged and sharpy, so we'll see what happens when we go to push this in, hey? Alright, shall we goop it and then...
Yeah.
Have you already brake cleaned it?
Yeah, I've cleaned it.
Just fits. Actually worked really well.
I think she's in.
So this is a hub socket and also T5 rear seal. Cool.
That's why it's in the special tool cabinet.
See, we made this exhaust too, so you can get a swing in the hammer as well too. See, there's just enough
Gap.
distance. We thought about that. You know, people just assume that we don't think about what we're doing. And look, most of the time they're right, but
We build our exhausts for our special tools too.
yeah. Alright, I'll give that a wipey dipe and we'll
Put the drive shaft back on. And we can go down.
there we go. What you doing?
I had to put a bolt in it, but the device doesn't do a nice bolt. So I've made a poor man's brake.
Not bad, pretty good brake.
Yeah? Perfect, mate. That was just a guess as well.
You
Where
reckon?
that fault should be.
I was gonna say, I hope there's enough. We'll find out, eh? Nice.
I'm happy with that. Feels good. Did I just cut my finger? No. You know when like you run your finger along something, you're like, I don't want to look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our plate.
Cool.
So we've got 4 holes. Don't know why they're triangulated, but 4 holes, and it fits. I've bent that a little bit more.
Well, that looks good as. And now you're gonna make me drill the hole, aren't you?
Yeah. So Michael's gonna nutsert it, and then I'll paint it, and then we're gonna put a bead of what are we doing?
Celastic.
I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you.
If I might have said it wrong, but celastic is like a stuff that it stays wet, so well, not wet, but it stays.
Oh,
soft and-
so the goop that's usually on your moisture bags on your doors.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's good to use actually.
Yeah, that way if you need to pull it off, you can
Yes.
put it back on and reuse it.
Yeah, that'll work perfect then.
All right, cool. Well, I'll mark these and drill, and there we go. God, these bite these drill bits.
Yeah.
That's my protection so they don't go into the fuel tank.
Protection.
Because we know a few people that have
I
drilled
was
into the fuel
literally about
tank.
to say that. You know, someone that's put a tech screw right in their fuel tank.
Yeah.
So we're running this so then we're not going to get fumes in the cabin.
Yeah, because at the moment, ever since we've done this conversion,
You forgot to cut them. You forgot to cut them. What did you forget to do, Michelle?
this is the second time I've done this, and she's really preloaded now, so.
Builder. Oh, that is funny.
It's like, yeah, I did that last time
You
too.
did it last time.
What were we talking about?
I can't. Oh, the fumes in the cabin. So ever
Yeah.
since we cut the hole.
Ever since we cut the hole and we've done this EFI conversion, we've been fumed out. So hopefully...
It's more when we're at a
Oh,
light,
wow.
isn't it? Whoa, now there.
This is coming out a lot more watery than I kind of...
Yeah, it's like falling out. Just
Goodbye.
Getting ready for the drive.
That looks factory, mate.
It does, thanks. Look at that, sheet metal. Sheet metal worker.
That's stronger than the floor. Alright, now I can get out. Now this means we can...
Put the 5 bits of insulation down.
a while since you've been down carpet, isn't it?
They're such heavy rims, aren't they?
I know, this is probably why the car went faster.
Alright, done. What does this mean?
Time to go for a drive.
Yeah.
Alright, before we do go for a drive though, what we thought we should do is actually explain the setup and how we're actually running this for anyone that hasn't seen the previous video where we spoke about this real briefly. The Sniper setup on this car is the most basic setup that you can have on it. There is no ignition control or anything like that. It is purely just running the EFI and the fuel alone. The only thing that's doing extra than basic is just controlling my fans, which we saw before. The only inputs that this have on it is it's got the tacho to read what the RPM's doing obviously, and it's got the coolant temperature which comes out the front there. Other than that, that is all that it needs. For those of you who watched the previous videos, we did have an issue when I installed it that it wasn't reading RPM and it was earthing out my coil, which was creating all kinds of dramas. After a couple of months of trying to diagnose what that actually was, what it turned out to be was a faulty Sniper unit itself, that being the ECU that sits in the front here. That had a fault in it of some sort. I spoke to Holley, they said, yep, it's an ECU fault. Basically sort yourself out a replacement by going through who we bought it through, which we did. I went through VPW when I originally bought it. Unfortunately, they couldn't get one into the country anytime soon because there's heaps of delays coming from America at the minute, and there's just a back order that's like crazy. So I waited probably 4 months before I found another one in Australia from another company, Engine Masters Australia. I bought that one, which is this unit now. Put that back on and it started up and ran beautifully. I did have a guy by the name of Mick LePayne. He came out and gave me a hand on setting it up because he's a bit of a sniper guru. I got under him through some Facebook forums for the Holley Snipers, and he just came out and basically just typed in a few things on the computer there and just got it running and set it up perfectly because he's well versed in these things, and he helped me just make sure that what I was doing was right and that it was going to work. When we started this project, me and Nathan, what we wanted to try and achieve was basically when you put the air filter on this thing, it looks stock. You'd never even know that there's an EFI carb under there, and I reckon we've achieved that. You'd never know, would you?
No. Not for someone that doesn't know what they're looking at.
No, if you look behind it,
yeah, you'll see the braided lines. But honestly, if people would just walk past it and go, oh yeah, it's got 250.
Yeah. I'll probably park this up at heaps of car shows, open the bonnet and everyone go, meh, 253. And just keep on going.
Yeah.
They won't notice that it's got the Holley Sniper or that it's got the 5-speed behind it, honestly. But that's good. That's what I want to achieve. I want to keep it that little bit stealthy. It's running the original coil. That's working fine. The only other thing that we did, we changed it to a progressive linkage. So that means that the primary 2 barrels open up before the secondaries do. The secondaries will come in at 40% throttle. The reason why we did that is because when we were originally trying to drive it, it was basically, the throttle was like an on-off switch. It would be nothing, you would move a millimeter and all of a sudden all 4 barrels would open and it would just be like, blah, blah, and it was just undrivable. Changing it to that has made it completely different, and it is such a nice car to drive now. It takes off and does everything it should do. The way that that's achieved is this little linkage here. That little linkage there is the progressive linkage. You can just buy that off any Holley or performance parts shop, and you can see how it just works. It just delays the secondaries. Otherwise they would all open together in one. Like I said, all 4 barrels open. I think that's all we need to talk about.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I love this car.
Bloody hell.
Alright, so we're back. We are back in the HQ, or the Sniper Q, I guess we're calling it now.
Sounds deadly.
Yeah, and I've been driving it now for about 3 weeks or so, on and off. Fair bit though at the beginning, and I let it sit for a bit and started back up again, and quite honestly, the Sniper is doing exactly what it's promised to do. The cold starts are amazing, turnkey, it starts up, no dramas. It's been really good, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
It's fun to drive as well.
It's fun, yeah, it's so much fun to drive now. It is so good to drive. We fixed up a few little things today, like we said. The screen's now there so I can see it while I'm driving when I lift the lid, which is great because it's right in view. But yeah, it's working.
All in all, good build.
Yeah. I guess the biggest thing is that we need to ask ourselves is, like, take aside from what the dramas that we had, is it worth doing? I would say yes.
I would say yes too, yeah.
Yeah, it is a really good bit of kit. It has its flaws, like it's not perfect by any means. I honestly think that maybe they're one model off from getting it perfect. I think the model after this, they'll have it nailed and it'll be working great. But for what I want it for, it works great.
Yeah.
It's doing what it should. It's very clever in the way that it's it's constantly adjusting fuel. The power increase has been phenomenal.
That's the biggest thing, really.
Yeah,
the power it's made is ridiculous.
We'll put on a dyno one day and see what the old 253 is.
Yeah, bloody oath.
Not at the minute, but one day we will. With the issues that we had, was it worth it? Yes.
We didn't have any issues though. Like the fact that was faulty, is that really our issue?
No, that's not. That couldn't be helped. You know, that came from the factory faulty, and that happens. You know, you get stuff like that from time to time. That's just part of the game that is building cars. Sometimes you get something that is faulty. Put the new one back in, a new unit, and turn key, and it works straight away. So if I had done that from the very beginning, it would have been even a better experience. But all in all, it's good.
Yeah.
Just the scream though. Let's see if it still sounds the berries, huh?
That's ridiculous. That sounds ridiculous.
253. Fuel economy wise, I got no idea if it's better on fuel than what it was because, well, I never checked what it was originally and I haven't checked now, but I don't really care.
I was about to say, if people still buy an old car and want to have fuel economy, get rid of your old car.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people still ask about the T5 conversion, is it worth it? Hell yeah.
Yeah, it drives awesome.
That's the best thing we did for this car.
Yeah. Oh, that was hard to feel. I got my foot planted into the foot well. And now that we've fixed that rear seal, hopefully it shouldn't leak.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've just really finished up a few things.
It's honestly just as comfortable to cruise in as a Commodore, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Reliability wise, hopefully. We'll still get to know with the Sniper, but gearbox wise, clutch is light, throttle's light. The carby's now a smart carby, and it just does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
The unit itself is still learning. For those that don't know, it is a self-learning, self-tuning unit, I suppose.
Yeah.
It builds its own map. Nick LePayne, he helped me speed it up basically, and assisted a little bit more along with just to learn quicker. But it will learn by itself, and the more I drive it, the better the tune is actually getting, and it's learning my driving style and whatnot, and it starts to create that base map, and it'll eventually become even better and better. And so far it seems to be doing pretty good. I can log all the drive that we're doing today, then send that over to Mick, and he can tune that on his computer and then send it back to me, clean it all up, and the car will run better again. So whoever thought you'd be tuning a HQ Holden with a laptop? I never thought I'd see the day. So one thing that is important when considering doing something like this is, what's the cost? Cost isn't cheap. I think what it would come in at, probably said and done with the fuel tank and everything done, I think we're probably looking around $3,000.
Was it 3?
Well, it was $2,000 for the kit.
Yeah.
And then the fuel tank, and the sender.
Oh yeah, to get the fuel
$500.
tank modified, yeah.
And you got the fuel lines and everything. So I reckon you'd probably have it said and done for about $3,000.
Yeah, I reckon, yeah.
Don't get me wrong, you can get what can you get Holley for? Like a base Holley, like $800, something like that.
Yeah, 700.
Yeah, so obviously it's a lot more expensive, but you do get a lot more for your money in the sense that you've got tunability now.
Yep. Cold start.
No
more bloody choke.
Fuel economy, if that's important to you. Get a little screen that tells you things as you're driving. So this is pretty much where the HQ is going to finish for a while. This is almost, minus maybe an LSD, basically the dream version of how I wanted this car to be. I had this car in standard form for something like 15 years or something like that, and it was great, and it was okay, and it was awesome to be able to show people and go, this is how it was standard, this is how they were back in the day. Not that inspiring to drive, but now modifying it the way we have, and I'd like to think that I've done it tastefully so that it still looks stock. Open that bonnet, it still looks stock. You'd never know there's a T5 in there. Having those few modern features has just made it such a fun car to drive. Like honestly, this is by far my favorite car to drive now. I love driving it. It is such a thrill drive. You can tell when me and Nathan drive this thing, we cannot stop grinning. You cannot stop smiling when you're belting through the gears. It is not a fast car, not by any means. It is still very slow by modern car standards and stuff like that. But it is the most fun I'll ever have in a slow car, I reckon, because just going from 0 to 100 and banging through first, second and third gear and just giving it all the berries and hearing that exhaust, which I believe still sounds so sweet, honestly makes it to me the ultimate package. I'm not doing stupid speeds. I get to enjoy the rev range and I'm not breaking the speed limit for one. And through the corners and stuff like that, it handles pretty good. So all in all, I'm wrapped with this build. And I hope you guys have enjoyed what this build has become as well too. We'll definitely see the car more in the future. An LSD is definitely on the card. So if you know anyone that's got an LSD for one of these, yell out, let me know. If you have enjoyed this build, please make sure you like and subscribe to see further builds like this in the future. And if you'd like to support us further, head on over to the website where you can buy Hackshop merch. If you guys are interested in hoodies, let us know because we will put out a pre-order shortly. Make sure you head over to Burst & Garage as well too to check out the members exclusive pricing and a range of tools that they have for sale at the minute. It's well worth signing up, guys, and it helps us out too if you click the link in the description below. Word of the day this week is a little bit different. What we thought was, whoever can come up with the best way to spell or say, write that in the comments below and we'll pick 2 of the best answers to send our ticket back to those people, as always. Anyway guys, until we get onto whatever else is coming next, we will catch you in the next episode. See you then.
That's a nice little jump you had there. You should do long jump in the Olympics.
Yeah, I'm an Olympian. Everybody loves kung fu fighting.
How do you think about your day and night? You right?
So happy together.
It's been a year since we did that oil change.
No.
19th of the 7th, 20. Something of the 7th, 21. It's been a year since we've done that.
Holy
Wow.
hell. Wow.
Time's gone by really quick, hasn't it? And not a lot's gotten done.
I know. I know, yeah. We've barely driven it. Oh, it's had its yearly service.
Yeah. Oh, did you see that drop of oil just then? Yep, straight on my leg.
That's right, you got black pants.
Yeah, I know. They're new. Have you noticed? They're
Yeah,
new.
I've noticed. I know.
That looks better. Hopefully no more leaky leaks. Because if it does, I'll be very sad.